Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with some more PICA. This time I stomped everything into one video. So, if you're not interested in a team builder, please, there will be an annotation somewhere in the description where it says that the battle starts. But this time around, we are facing against, well, what is probably my Nemesis. I don't think I'm his Nemesis, but I haven't beaten Matthew since MBL, and that is about 2 years ago in draft format, and we've been participating in the same league over and over and over again, and I just keep getting my ass whooped, and you know what? I'm sick of that shit. So this time around, we brought a reasonably offensive team, because usually the way Matthew goes around is he brings straight up walls. So I decided, you know what, let's just go with 2 defensive ons this time, being Togekiss and Tangrowth, and then just try and bludgeon his team with all the other things as much as we can. So, Togekiss is an Air Slash Wish Protect defog. Wish Protect is just there. I can wish into my offensive mons, into Reunion, into Infernape, into Jirachi, Tangrowth. So all these mons that appreciate getting wishes passed to. And then obviously Togekiss can pass wishes into itself with a Protect, and then Defog just to get rid of hazards, because he has the option to set rocks plus spikes, and he has Spin because he still has an Acelgor on there. He traded away his Acelgor, which was his option to spike, but he also has an option to T-spike with the Tentacruel, so I really didn't want any of that. So Togekiss is basically there to take on Crocodile, to take on Blaziken, take on Gurgeist, and Acelgor to some degree, which, well, as Acelgor does get Axial Sludge Bomb, but didn't necessarily expect him to bring Acelgor. So that's the Togekiss stat. I had some speed EVs in there in case he wanted to speed creep me with his Gurgeist, for example. With majority of his defensive mons are also reasonably fast, maybe even one to speed creep me with defensive Mega Altaria, and I'm just not having any of that. So I put 36 in there. I always put random numbers in there, so sometimes it'll be like over 90, and sometimes it'll be 8. So you can't really play that. But I need to check to his other offensive mons, which, well, it's mainly Heliolisk. There's also an OK switch to Gurgeist, also an OK switch to, I wouldn't say Tentacruel, but also Regirock. So that's what Tangrowth is doing here. I didn't need an Assault Vest to take on Heliolisk all that necessarily, so I decided to go with a Leech Seed Toxic variant, because that just does really well against his team, because it can Toxic all these walls that potentially want to switch in. And then my coverage moves are a Power Whip plus Knockoff. I don't necessarily hit everything with that, but I have switch-ins, I have offensive switch-ins, and it can Leech Seed and Toxic all the other things. So this is the coverage I wanted for this game, and I have leftovers on it. As you can tell, it's almost max def, which still allows you to take on Croak if it's like a Scarf set reasonably well. So next off, we have something that decimates his entire team as soon as I get this off. So once again, set up Jirachi, Normalium Z, Happy Hour, Iron Hat, Zen Headbutt, Fire Punch. This is the exact same set as we brought last week, only with a bit more of HP investment. I needed this amount of speed to, I think, outspeed Scarf Crook. Yeah, this is exactly the amount of speed I needed to outspeed Scarf Crocodile, and that would mean I'd also outspeed Mega Altaria +1. So that's what Jirachi is for. Iron Hat just for, well, mainly there for Altaria. Fire Punch to hit Celesteela, and then Zen Headbutt was there for Tentacruel. And then I think I covered everything already. So Jirachi's there as a late game cleaner, or just a mid game, just try and bludgeon his team as much as I can for the other mons to a potential late game sweep. Infernape, it's an expert belt set. I really wanted Sword Stance, but I eventually decided to go with U-turn, because I really want to keep momentum against this guy, because that's important. As soon as you're facing a bulky team, you want to keep momentum. So I decided to go with an expert belt to bluff potential scarfs, to bluff potential choice items in general, and then hit hard. Flare Blitz hits his entire team reasonably hard, apart from Tentacruel and Mega Altaria. I have, and then obviously not Regirock. So close combat is there to hit Regirock and just a general secondary good stab. If you don't really know what to click, just go with close combat. It's never really wrong, because he's not going to switch in a Gurgeist on an Infernape. That's just not a thing you do. And the rest of his team is reasonably susceptible to close combat apart from Mew, but I do outspeed Mew with this specific amount of speed. So, and then the last but not least, we have Gunk Shot. Gunk Shot is there for that pesky Mega Altaria. I was debating Poisonium Z, but then I realized his Jirachi set was just to tits, and I decided to just go with an Expert Bell. Next off, we have another setup sweeper. So that's another reason why I didn't go with SD Infernape, and that is Culver Berry, Calm Mind, Recover, Size Shock, Signal Beam. So the only thing I can really deal with this are Crocodile and Mew. So that's why Signal Beam's there. I could go Focus Blast, but then I wouldn't be able to hit Mew, so that's why there is Signal Beam, so I hit both. Max HP, because you can run an even HP number on this. You can just max it out because it has Magic Art, because the residual damage doesn't exist for Uniclus. It doesn't know the word residual damage. It's not pure in its vocab. This defense investment should be enough to take a knockoff plus an additional knockoff, if I'm not mistaken. Or I just really wanted a lot of Spadef investment where I could take on Heliolisk. This is probably a secondary check to Heliolisk as well. So that's why this is here. And then I just dumped the rest in the defense. No special attack investment because I didn't figure Runiculus really needed that. So yeah. And last but not least, Nick told me, you know what completely shits on his team? Choice Bandit Sneasel. Choice Bandit Sneasel absolutely destroys his team, and this should be enough speed to outspeed Heliolisk. And I decided to go with a Choice Bandit with knockoff, Ice Surprise, Pursuit, and Ice Shard. Ice Shard just there for priority purposes. Unfortunately, Sneasel does not outspeed Mega Altaria +1, but it just really packs a punch, and that's why I decided to go with Sneasel this game. So, without any further ado, let's just jump straight into this battle, right? So there is my face. You can see I'm wearing the same clothes as the last two recordings because I'm doing all of these in sequence. I just watched the replay once again so I don't mess up the narration. But here we go. So I lead with Infernape. He leads off with his Heliolisk, and pay attention to the switch outs. He switches out first, and I switch out as well, which means that he's faster, which means that Infernape cannot be Scarfed. Keep that in mind. so yeah, spoilers, right? So, I go into Tangrove just to take on the Heliolisk, but he decides to go in Altaria, and I can Sludge Bomb there, but another play I could do is just to go for a knockover Leech Seed, but I decided to go for Toxic. Because you're forced to Mega first turn in this league, so as soon as he had stayed in, I would have Toxic'd his Altaria, but unfortunately he goes into Celesteela. Celesteela does not care about Toxics, but yeah, I just go for a Leech Seed here just to get some chip on Celesteela. Like, see how you like it to get seeded, Celesteela. But what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna have to switch out, right, because I really need Tangrowth with a good amount of HP to take on the Heliolisk. So I double out into Reuniclus because I can set up on that thing, and I can set up on the Altaria as well. So he goes into Mew as I set up a Calm Mind right here. At this point, I figure, you know what, I don't know what this guy wants to do. He can taunt me, he can do all sorts of things, or most scary variant, he can Nasty Claw on my face and then eventually beat me like that. But so I decided to go for Signal Beam, just to play it safe. Had I set up even one more, then Signal Beam still would not have been able to kill this guy. Would have done about 85-ish%. So I go for Signal Beam, that kills, well, that definitely 2 KOs. He goes for a Shadow Ball, and the Reuniclus just noms that. So good thing I had a bunch of investment there. And now I had to go for Signal Beam anyway. So he goes into his Crook, he can't really risk me recovering here, or let's say he pursues and I fire off a signal beam, then he loses 2 monster Eutychus. So I'm very safe here to switch out, or at least that's what I thought in the game, and that's what actually turned out happening. So I go into my Togekiss, which is my dedicated switch into this. That knockoff does absolutely nothing. So knockoffs in the future will even do less. There we go. So I just decided to throw up a wish right now, and I can pass it into my Tangrowth. He predicted the pass into Reuniclus, so he decided, you know what, I'm having none of that. This Reuniclus has to go. So he goes for Dark Pulse. What it can do right here is just knock off whatever wants to come in. He decides to go for another Dark Pulse, just maybe bait for a flinch, because, well, admittedly, Matthew has been quite lucky against me, but this time, not the case. So, we go for a knockoff. Heliolisk loses its Zap Plate, so that thing was also definitely on Choice Scarf, which, well, he Volt Switches here, and goes straight out into his Celesteela. So, I go for a Leech Seed. Unfortunately, I miss. I felt forced to stay in again. Yeah, so I stay in again, and he crits me. So, I said something, he's not going to be lucky, but Fire Blast crits me. I knock off just to get rid of the residual recovery on the Celesteela. And at this point, I'm like, oh, bollocks, I really need Tangrowth, because otherwise, Heliolisk just kind of, shits on my team. And I don't want that. Definitely don't want that. But yeah, I switch in for an Ape here because I figured, well, he's probably going to go for another Fire Blast. But he goes actually for a Flash Cannon. Either or works for me, right? So, for an Ape, I could Flare Blitz here, but I am going to go for the U-turn. So, at this point, I could still be bluffing a Choice Item because U-turn is quite common on Choice Items. But, we're expert ball. Now, going to Sneasel, and here Sneasel's Choice Band does a number on his team. Is he not defensive? Is he an offensive variant of Voltaria? Then Ice Cream Crash kills, and then, well, I really wanted to, could have locate. I don't even have locate. I could have doubled there on the Regirock, but I decided, you know what? No. I'm just gonna Ice Cream Crash. No idea why he didn't switch into his Regirock right there. But he takes his Ice Cream Crash. He actually lives, kills my Sneasel, but his Mega Altaria has a 21%. So I started calcing Infernape. Please kill with a close combat here, because he has nothing that switches into close combat anymore. But that doesn't kill, and then the rest of my team doesn't outspeed this damn thing, apart from Jirachi, but I didn't want to go into that because he could go into Kruka and trap me, and all sorts of horror scenarios were going through my brain. So I calc this damage, and it turns out he has, Togekiss must be able to outspeed here, in order for it to take it this well. So, I'm going for an Ape, because I don't want to miss Gunk Shot, and because we know Gunk Shot misses at crucial points in time. So I go into Togekiss, and this Air Slash should be enough to take it out, but he goes into his Golemon. Yeah, that's not a Golem, that is a Regirock indeed. So, I'm just gonna go into my Tangrowth, I think. No, I'm gonna go into my Jirachi. No, Tangrowth, damn it. I go into Tangrowth here, as he Toxics me, and here I can do all sorts of things. I can Toxic something back, I can throw off Leech Seeds, or I can pull a double into my Jirachi, predicting a switch into Celesteela, into Altaria. So he is majorly threatened by this guy, right? But after the game, he told me I had Thunder Wave, which he didn't go for, obviously. And I just set up with the Happy Hour. At this point, Celesteela is in range to actually get to hit KO'd by a Fire Punch, and that is what's going to happen. So Celesteela fires off a Fire Blast against me. I'm like, oh my god, please don't burn, please don't burn, please don't burn. He doesn't burn me. I take 36% from that. This Jirachi is OP as fuck, should be banned. but that's not what happens. So he goes into crook. I'm like, at this point, you know what? I could potentially, you know, flinch you down. This group is a threat. I decide to flinch you down. So I go for an Iron Head. That does 38% to this guy. So he's just basically sacking his Helios right here. We already knocked off its Zap play, so we know it's not Choice Scarf. So I fear nothing. At this point, he goes back into crook, gets the second Intimidate off, and here I was like, you know what? I can do all sorts of things, right? I can try and flinch this thing to death, but that'll probably not work out. And looking at the remainder of his team, a Regirock and a Mega Altaria at 20%, they don't deal with Jirachi very well. To be more exact, they don't deal with Jirachi at all. So, but he's facing a +1 everything Jirachi, so he is not going to click Pursuit here. So I can switch out into my personal favorite. Well, no, my personal favorite is Tangrowth. But Togekiss, you know what, getting up there, really proving its worth for me this season, especially as a tier 2 mon. So I'm just gonna throw up a Wish in the air, beautiful and everything, and he predicts me to pass that into either Reuniclus or Tangrowth. I was very much debating doing that into Reuniclus, but as we just established, the biggest threat currently to his team is Jirachi. So I went straight into Jirachi. And another option, which this move covered, let's say he doubled, let's say he switched into Mega Altaria right here, then Reuniclus. Reuniclus was a good option, but like then Tangrowth was a terrible option because then it would have allowed him to roost again. So we don't want any of that. So I go into Jirachi and he's like, oh bollocks, I have to face this full health Jirachi again. So at this point, it's very safe for me to just fire off an Iron Head. So that's exactly what I do. I'm just going to, at this point, click Iron Head, do a decent amount to this group, and now I'm just going to switch in my Togekiss again. He apparently doesn't have Pursuit, because otherwise I probably would have clicked it there. But no, what I decided to do is not sack my Togekiss or anything. I just want to see what he goes for, and I'm just gonna, you know, sack off my Reuniclus right here. So Reuniclus, you know what? You did a great job. You applied pressure. You took on the Mew. Seeing that I lived the hit there, I could have taken it, actually. I could have taken out this Mon turn like 7 or 10 or something, I don't know. But I go in Infernape here. Let's say he's Choice Scarf, then he doesn't kill me with the knockoff. Let's say he's not Scarf, then I would speed him. So basically Infernape clicks close combat here. He goes into his Regirock, and he goes into Regirock because he thought I was Choice Scarf. But had we seen turn 1, had Matthew been paying attention, then we would have seen that Infernape in fact doesn't have speed. That Infernape is actually slower and probably can potentially be carrying a boosting item, which it does. It has the Expert Bell, and here he kind of starts to lose his shit. I was like, oh my god, I really expected that thing to be Choice Scarf, but it turned out. So that turned out not to be the case. I'm even stating this. He's like, oh, I'll be honest, thought you were Scarf until now. And then I just flat out said, well, then you didn't necessarily pay all that much attention. Turn 1. So it goes into Crook. I'm like, yeah, you're probably Scarf now. Going into Altaria, I would have clicked Gunshot there. But going into Crook, you know what? I'm going to go straight into my favorite this game, into Togekiss. And Togekiss, well, beats this thing one-on-one at this point. But I see the double coming, and I'm just gonna go straight for that Air Slash. So we take out the Altaria. At this point, I can just Wish, Protect, do whatever, and take out this Crocodile. Right? I decide to be a numbnut, really. I decide to play this very poorly, and I just Air Slash. What I should have done was throw up a Wish there. but that doesn't happen. So Togekiss dies, so I win 3-0 instead of 4-0. May matter in differential eventually, but it doesn't necessarily matter for this game. So we're just gonna go. He knocks off. Once again, same scenario. If he's Scarfed, so he finally reveals to actually be Scarfed. Was he Scarfed? And then he can't kill me with knockoff. Was he not Scarfed? Then if Inferno speeds and kills with the close combat. I could prefer Blitz here just to show that I have it. But that's gonna be the game. So after over 2 years, we beat Matthew, and currently we are sitting 3-1. So I will see you guys tomorrow with week number 5.